Hey, it's Matt, your average gamer, and for this video, we're going to be doing 9 more creative and overpowered builds in Elden Ring. These are a lot of fun. There's some really awesome builds in this one. A lot of build requests again here. We're going to start with one for the Obsidian Lamina and a dragon combination build. This is a really cool one that does a lot of damage, and of course, you get to use a really cool weapon as well. So we're going to be using Borealis' Mist for the Frost build-up, and then Rotten Breath for the Rot build-up, and then of course our backup weapon or main weapon, but we're going to be using that as a backup to the Dragon incantations, is Obsidian Lamina, which has a decent Ash of War. It's not super overpowered or anything. You get some arcane scaling on the weapon though, and a little bit of bleed build-up as well. The Ash of War also does a decent amount of poise damage too, so it's a cool backup to have to the Dragon incantations. For the Dragon Communion Seal, when you use the tier, which has the Faith tier in it for this build, I believe I included that, you're going to have around 320 scaling, of course, plus the boost as well to Dragon incantations, so you're going to get a lot of damage from those, and then of course you'll get decent damage from the weapon and poise damage, but again, his weapon is not super powerful in terms of Obsidian Lamina, but it is really fun to use. Now, using a regular Grave Scythe with Spinning Weapon or something like that, it's going to do more damage, of course, but you'll probably have more fun with his weapon, and it definitely takes a little bit of skill to time it. You get some iframes with the first move as well, which is awesome, and of course the follow-up, decent damage, a little bit of bleed build-up. Didn't get a bleed proc on the dragon because he's fairly resistant, but you will get some bleed procs here and there. We've got 70-something, I believe. Jump into equipment. We have the Obsidian Lamina, plus 10 preferably, Dragon Communion Seal, plus 10. We have part of the Black Knight set and the Wise Man's Mask on, 58 poise, Shard of Alexander, Roar Medallion. We have Lord of Blood's Exaltation, we have Millicent's Prosthesis as well, and then we have the Faith tier, Bloodsucking correct tier. Let's jump into stats. And for stats, we have 55 Vigor, 21 Mind, 24 Endurance, 45 Dexterity, 45 Arcane, 33 Faith with the Faith here. Golden Vow, Halsterberry, you can use his incantation if you want, it's decent. It's not great though. Borealis' Mist, Rotten Breath, and Blessing Spoon. And next up here, we have a guard counter tank build. This is going to be one of those builds where you could take a ton of damage. You could take a ton of hits with this build, as well as block pretty much everything, because we have Moore's entire set on. We got a shield for an awesome almost 90 guard boost on this. And then we have a cool guard counter build with the Great Stars in Cold Affinity with Chilling Mist, so you get a decent amount of Frost buildup as well. You can get a lot of poise breaks with this one. It's not going to do a ton of damage, but you're going to see throughout this clip how much damage you can take, and of course, how well the guard counters work when you're running a build like this one, because you could pretty much block everything. I want to say real quick too, if you have any more build requests, be sure to comment them below. I still have a lot more to do. If they didn't fit into this video, I'm probably going to be doing them next week. There's still a whole list I have now. I've been getting a lot of them lately. They've been really fun, especially these more unique ones. This was kind of a random one. The last one was the build request. This one, somebody wanted a powerful tank guard counter build, so I put this one together. So it's a little bit of a build request here mixed with something I wanted to have fun with. But overall, if you have any build requests, don't forget to comment them below. I'm adding a lot to my list lately, and it's been fun doing these. Of course, the concept here is going to be to block everything that you can block. Use Black Flame's protection for massive defense. We're going to have a ton of defense with a build like this one. You can tank hits a lot. And then, of course, follow up with those guard counter hits. Every time you hear that noise on the shield, you're just going to follow up with a swing. It's very obvious how to do the guard counters. And usually after 3 or 4, depending on what difficulty scaling you're on, you're going to get a break on said boss. And when you get a break, of course, you're going to go in for the critical hit. And you're going to build up Frost that way, a little bit more so with the critical hits as well, too. And, of course, since we are in Cold Affinity with the Great Stars, it doesn't take too much. I believe there's 2 Frost procs during this fight. And when you use Chilling Mist, you're going to get even more Frost buildup. This is probably one of my favorite ones on here because I don't run a lot of super powerful guard counter builds, and I usually have a hard time with Gaius. I kind of messed around with stats, so he did kill me a couple of times while I was figuring out what weapon I wanted to use. Now, we have a heavy equipment load and a fat roll, so that's one downside. But once I got it down and figured out what I wanted to use, he was a single try after that. There's a Frost proc there. It ended up being awesome because of the amount of damage that you could take and the amount of damage you could dish out, how well the Great Stars goes overall with just his build in general, taking advantage of his shield, the guard counters, and of course Frost buildup. This is what I want to say that is definitely like worth trying if you're having any difficulty with the game, because you can just take your time, block. You're not going to take a ton of stamina damage. We have a huge stamina bar with this build anyway, and you're going to be able to just constantly dish out damage. Even if it's not a ton of damage, you're taking a decent amount of hits too. It's really an awesome build. We have the Cold Great Stars plus 25 preferably with Chilling Mist. We have the Verdigris Shield and Set, if that's how you say it. We have any seal for buffs, Great Shield Talisman. We have the Pearl Shield Talisman. Of course, we want to increase our guard counter, so we have the Curved Sword Talisman. Arsenal Charms +1 or Great Jar's Arsenal. You're going to have a heavy equipment load no matter what. Opaline Hard tier, Green Burst Crystal tier. Let's jump into stats. We have 60 Vigor, 15 Mind, 40 Endurance, 54 Strength. If you two-hand, you'll have over 80, 12 Dexterity, 30 Faith, Reason, Golden Vow, Black Flames Protection, and Blessing Spoon. Next up here, we have another build request, and that's going to be another Crucible Knight build. Somebody asked for a really well-balanced Crucible Knight build. Have a good one for you here. This is going to work better at higher levels, though. So if you're over 150, you definitely want to increase your Strength and Faith more, and you'll do a lot more damage. This is going to work around Ordovis's Greatsword, and of course using incantations, but the thing about the Crucible incantations didn't really use them much because they're not too good. Like, no matter what, they're pretty much just okay at best. So I really want to build around, in this case, Ordovis's Greatsword, do a lot of damage with that, and the poise damage you'll get with this weapon, strength scaling, all that, is really great. This is a cool build to try. Of course, you can add in the Crucible incantations as well if you want to, and the higher faith you have, the more damage you'll get. I recommend the Erdtree Seal. Let's go over equipment and stats for this one. All around a cool build. I like the Crucible Knight stuff for sure. We have Ordovis's Greatsword +10 preferably. We have Erdtree Seal +10. We have the Crucible set on with the Crucible Hammer Helm on. We have the Shard of Alexander. We have the Godfrey icon. His skill is chargeable. We have the Blade of Mercy Talisman, Two-Handed Sword Talisman, Bloodsucking Crack tier, Holy tier. Let's jump into stats. We have 60 Vigor, 21 Mind, 35 Endurance, 40 Strength. That's going to be 60 when you two-hand this, 15 Dexterity. We have 40 Faith. We're using Golden Vow, Black Flames Protection, Blessing Spoon. We have 71 Poise, and you can add any of the Crucible incantations to this build. And next up here was we're continuing to have fun. This is a really cool one, a guard counter Milady build. Now, Milady on the guard counter has a double swipe. Somebody pointed this out in the comments. Want to give credit to them. If you end up showing up, definitely comment on the video. But yeah, I kind of forgot that this has the double swipe. It's really cool. Does a lot of poise damage on the guard counters as well. But the two swipes is awesome, especially if you have a status build up, like in this case we're in Cold Affinity. You can build up Frost quickly, get a good amount of poise damage on your guard counters, and of course always get 2 hits with the guard counters, which is really cool. Yeah, I love that double swipe. It's pretty rare to have a weapon that has a double swipe on the guard counters. And of course, we're going to be using wing stance too, so you can go in for those charge attacks. You can build up on successive hits as well if you use the other part of it. But overall, this is focused mainly around the guard counters. Here's another one here. You get that double swipe every time. It's just really cool. Definitely really something that's going to work well with Cold Affinity, Blood Affinity, Poison Affinity, any of those that you want to try with a build like this one. You'll be able to build up status relatively quick on a guard counter build, which is pretty rare. We have Cold Milady +25 with Wing Stance. We have the Brass Shield, any seal for buffs. You can check out our armor set here. It's completely random, but it is one I run frequently. It's kind of cool looking. We have the Curved Sword Talisman. We have the Great Shield Talisman. We have Rolana's cameo, of course, because we're using Wing Stance, Shard of Alexander. And then for our tiers, we have the Green Burst Crystal tier, Opaline Hard tier. Let's jump into stats. And we have 55 Vigor, 19 Mind, 30 Endurance, 16 Strength, 50 Dexterity, 20 Intelligence, 30 Faith. We are using Golden Vow, Black Flames Protection, Blessing Spoon. We have 56 Poise, and this is definitely one worth trying out. Next one we have up here is a Spartan build. Now, there is better circular shields that you could probably use for a Spartan build. I use Mesmer Soldier Shield because it gives you a decent amount of guard boost, and it's relatively lightweight, not a lot of requirements on it. And then the Broadsword with Stormblade, and then we have a Short Spear with Impaling Thrust. This is all around a very good Spartan type build for you. It's a quality build. We went for quality affinity on both because I figured that was very Spartan-like to have a quality type build. I know quality builds aren't the best in Elden Ring, and especially when you're at 150, you should be focusing on one stat. But quality, it felt like the right move here for a Spartan type build. It felt like they would have a good amount of strength and some dexterity as well. Yeah, this is one of those ones that I think is just really cool looking and is going to work for a lot of bosses, especially with Stormblade. So you're always going to have that reliability in Stormblade. You don't have to worry about not getting a lot of damage. That's going to give you your good amount of damage. And then if you want poise damage, you can switch to the short spear and impaling thrust. And of course, if you want to do guard counters or anything like that, you can as well too, because you can block decently with this shield. It's not amazing, but it's decent enough. Quality broadsword plus 25 with Stormblade, quality short spear plus 25 preferably with impaling thrust. Any seal for buffs, Mesmer's Soldier Shield, plus 25 preferably. We have the Tree Sentinel set on, as well as the Rotten Cloak on. Shard of Alexander, Curved Sword Talisman. We have the Enraged Divine Beast Talisman. We have the Great Shield Talisman. Yeah, that Rotten Cloak is definitely the best Spartan look in my opinion. Opaline Hards here, Faith tier. Let's jump into stats. And we have 60 Vigor, 19 Mind, 27 Endurance. We have 50 Strength, 40 Dexterity, 25 Faith. We're using Golden Vow, Flame Grant Me Strength, and Blessings Boon. So on the less creative side, I decided to do the most balanced build I can come up with. Some people ask me what the best build is. It's really hard to make a best build in Elden Ring because there's so much variety and bosses have so many different resistances. But I decided to make a very well balanced build with the Blasphemous Blade and some of my favorite incantations that really allows you to take hits. It's really just going to be one of those things that's going to be easier for players that have a difficult time. You could run the Blasphemous Blade, take a good amount of hits, dish out a reasonable amount of damage too, and on top of that, use some of your favorite incantations as well. It all around fits really well into something that you could use for the majority of the bosses in the game and do quite well. And when you use Black Flame's protection with this build, you're going to have around 50% physical damage resistance. Of course, this Tree Sentinel set that we're using is probably the most balanced armor set in the entire game. That's why it was heavily featured in this video. It's an awesome set. If you're looking for a well-balanced set that gives you a ton of defense for the weight, I can't think of anything better than the Tree Sentinel set. It's a little bit difficult to get because you have to take out the chariots in the Altless Plateau dungeon, but it is definitely worth it and fits this build very well. Let's jump into equipment. We have the Blasphemous Blade plus 10. We have the Gravelstone Seal. We're using lightning incantations. We have the Tree Sentinel set on 82 poise, decent amount of defense. We have the Shard of Alexander. We have the Talisman of the Dread. We have the Godfrey Icon. We have the Lightning Scorpion Charm because I'm using some lightning incantations as well. And then we have the Bloodsucking Crack tier. We have the Flame tier. Let's jump into stats. And the Flame tier is for the Blasphemous Blade and Burno Flame, but you can switch that to the Lightning tier if you're leaning more towards the incantation. 60 Vigor, 60 Faith, we have 40 Endurance, 21 Mind, Golden Vow, Black Flame Protection, Blessings Boon, Ancient Dragon Lightning Strike, Knight's Lightning Spear, and Burno Flame. Next up, we have a Harpoon water theme type build. That's why I did this armor set. You see it later. I think it fits the whole like water vibe. And then we got 2 Clayman Harpoons. And in this case, we've got one in Blood Affinity, one in Cold Affinity. Now, the first one's going to have Spectral Lance on it, which is going to give you that harpoon type thing where you can throw them, and it gives you a decent amount of poise damage, not a ton of damage. The other one has Ice Spear on it. This is a really cool combination, actually, that gives you a distance way of building up poise damage, and then an up-close way of building up poise damage, as well as Frost build-up, and then the dual move set will give you both Bleed and Frost, which is really cool, too. I love Ice Spear. I think it's one of the easiest Ashes of War to use in the game. So anytime I use this, it's going to make the build a lot easier. Clayman's Harpoon is going to scale well with it too. We have a decent amount of intelligence. And of course, we're going to be running that one in Cold and the other one in Blood Affinity. So it's a little bit of an intelligence arcane build we have running here. Really cool setup, though, to run dual spears like this. You'll get a decent amount of damage out of this. Ended up being an epic fight with Moog here. At the very end of this clip, I do die at the end from the Bloodsucking Crack here, not from Moog himself. He does get my HP down a little bit lower than I wanted him to. And yeah, I end up dying at the end, but of course it counted. Overall, though, this was a cool spear build. I'm not really used to the spear moveset. That much so, I don't use it too often, but I ended up liking this one a lot, and it was kind of a cool harpoon type, I don't know, water theme type build, which was really cool, ice type build theme, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Either way, this one wasn't really a build request, it was just completely random. A lot of people ask for spear type builds, but I don't do a lot of them because I'm not really a spear moveset type guy. But in this case, I like this one a lot. This is really cool, and you can get 2 Clayman Harpoons in a single playthrough, and there's when I die. That Bloodsucking Crack tier can catch up with you, especially if you don't have a lot of HP at the end and you're waiting to show equipment and stats. Let's jump into them now. And we have the Clayman's Blood Harpoon plus 25 with Spectral Lance preferably. Clayman's Cold Harpoon with Ice Spear plus 25 preferably. Any seal for buffs. We have part of the Carrion set on, part of the Black Knight set on, and I believe we have Gaius' Helm on. Shard of Alexander, Lord of Blood's Exaltation, Melissa's Prosthesis, Magic Scorpion Charm, Bloodsucking Crack tier, Faith tier. We have Moog Shackle to stun the boss. Don't forget you could slow all that down on YouTube side. 60 Vigor, 18 Mind, 23 Endurance, 20 Strength. We have 40 Intelligence, 18 Dexterity, 40 Arcane. And then we're using Golden Vow, Flame Grant Me Strength, and Blessing's Boon. And next up, we have a completely random build for the Rotten Battle Hammer. This isn't one of the more inventive ones on here. We're using Great Stars and Cold Affinity with Chilling Mist in our offhand. In our main hand, we have the Rotten Battle Hammer. Heavy Affinity, by the way. This gets an S in Heavy, I believe, so that's pretty cool. This is basically a jump attack build and a really fun one. This is what I enjoyed a lot, so I just threw it in here. A couple people asked for a Rotten Battle Hammer build, so this was a direct build request. It is a hard weapon to build up the rod on, though. It does build it up very slowly. You could use something like the Poison Flower Blooms Twice, which I had equipped. I didn't end up using it for Mesmer in this fight. That could build up rod a little quicker. As far as the weapon itself goes, though, you're going to probably get maybe one rot proc, but it's going to be towards the end of the fight. It is relatively slow at only 65 rot per hit. Now, it would go well with a roar, but the problem is it has such a short reach that I don't like using it for anything other than the simple jump attacks, which does do, by the way, a decent amount of poise damage. And of course, again, if you wanted to run the Poison Flower Bloom Swipes, which I have on it, that can give you the rot buildup usually in 2 hits plus 1 or 2 hits with the Battle Hammer. In this case, though, I decided to just continue to build up poise on Mesmer because that was the easier way to fight him. And you can get a lot of poise breaks that way because you're going to be using 2 great hammers essentially. So pretty cool there. Decent amount of damage with this one. Again, not a ton of rot buildup, but it does make use of the S and Heavy Affinity, as well as getting some frost buildup in your offhand. In a second, we're going to go over equipment and stats for this one. This is definitely one worth trying if you like jump attack builds. We have the Heavy Rotten Battle Hammer plus 25 preferably with Poison Flower Blooms Twice. We have the Great Stars and Cold Affinity with Chilling Mist. We have the Grey Bird chest piece, any seal for buffs. You can check out the armor set there. Shard of Alexander. Kindred Rod's Exaltation. Might be able to swap that because it's going to be a little bit difficult. Blade of Mercy Talisman. We have the Claw Talisman, Green Burst Crystal tier, Bloodsucking Crack tier. Let's jump into stats. And for stats, we have 60 Vigor, 21 Mind, 33 Endurance, 60 Strength. If you two-hand the main weapon you have, you'll have 90 Strength and around 700 AR or so, 25 Faith. We have Golden Vow, Flame Grant Me Strength, and Blessing's Boon. Hope you guys are enjoying these builds. This last one is a simple Paladin build that works with the Light of Miquella. We have multi-layered Ring of Light, and then 2 maces. We have one with Sacred Blade, one with Prayerful Strike. I didn't get to use it in this clip. I decided to use a quick clip for the last build that was on here, but overall, this is a really fun one that I think you'll enjoy. Just want to thank the community again for tuning into these videos and also for all the build requests I've been getting. Again, if you have any more, don't forget to comment them below. I want to hear about them for sure, especially these ones that I've done lately. The more unique ones, like some of the ones that were in this video. A lot of fun to do these ones. The Spartan Build, a couple of them were really fun. We have the Sacred Mace with Sacred Blade, plus 25. Preferably, we have the Morning Star with Prayerful Strike, plus 25 preferably. Erdtree Seal, Grey Bird set, Tree Sentinel set, and the Lindel Helm on. Shard of Alexander, Sacred Scorpion Charm, Godfrey Icon, Claw Talisman. We have the Holy tier, Bloodsucking Crack tier, Lendl, I believe is what I meant there, for the Helm. 60 Vigor, 23 Mind, 29 Endurance, 12 Strength, 15 Dexterity. We have 72 Faith, a good amount of Faith for this build, so you could do a lot with the Erdtree Seal. We have Golden Vow, Howl of Shabiri, Blessing's Boon, multi-layered Ring of Light, and of course, Light of Miquella. And thanks for watching this one. Thanks for tuning into my top 9 creative and overpowered builds in Elden Ring. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this one was a lot different for you guys because there's a couple different like cosplay builds and unique setups in this one. Hopefully, if you want to see more of those, your comment below. And if you have any build requests, also comment them below. Don't forget to sub if you enjoy Elden Ring content. I just started jumping back into Night Rain too, so more Night Rain content is going to be on the way. September 11th, by the way, we get a harder difficulty for that game. Can't wait. Catch you in the next video.